And we are live.
Alright. I do think we should do that show tonight. We should just do the whole show.
Well, should have been done today because I got my buddy coming over to jam guitar tonight. So there's always tomorrow.
I'm done. I'm not doing it anymore. Don't bring it up to me anymore. If you ain't doing it today because you're doing something else, I'm done. Just pretend
Okay.
shit.
All right. Well, then we're done.
I'm out. I'm fucking out.
You're
I'm
out.
fucking out.
You're like
Yep, I'm just tired of you, dude.
Kenny
It's
Kenny
every time.
Powers. You're fucking
I'll
out.
send you the text from 3 weeks ago. I'll send you the fucking text. Oh, we're doing it. We're doing it. We're ready to go. And then it's just, dude,
That
you're
was
not a
that was last week, and then
you're not a
I
self-made
built
man.
the entire thing.
You're not a self-made man. You just pretend. You waste time. You're gonna be a rock star. Go be a rock star. I'm done with it.
Okay.
I'm just gonna fucking do it myself.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I can cut you out of the stream right now, and it'll just be a draw stream because nobody wants to hear a little fucking bitch like you.
No, I just don't want to be. I'm tired of pretending Tommy.
Bye bye.
Worst thing I ever do is.
All right. Well, glad that's over with, huh? I had this dumbass's name. There we go. Docs. Let's see the chat if there is one. Anyway, just drawing a couple headshot panels. I really haven't done a lot of streaming since I got this camera. I think I want to go ahead and do my panel borders. A lot of times I like to save those for the end. It's like a good finishing touch. Let you. It's like a ritual, just saying, "Hey, this panel's done." But this one, I think I want to go ahead and do it now, just because it's in an odd place. All right, just that side's all I need. Where's my kneaded eraser at? Sometimes it takes a couple tries on the hair. Normally it's like kind of parted and flips down on both sides, but he was just in a little bit of a firefight here, blasting his powers up, so I think it makes sense for his hair to be standing straight up. Alright, so let me go ahead. His costume here is all black. John likes it flat black, no highlights on it. Likes it to read graphically. Um, uh, I'm getting used to it. Let me just say that. I typically like to do the highlights like Panosian. He's really good. Uh, Adam Hughes. He's really good at the highlights on black costumes. Brett Booth. He's pretty good at it. But it is easier, and it does. It's like a fail-safe read. It reads well every time. So there's that, and saves a lot of time drawing. Let's get a few of the little sprigs of hair. Yep, don't like that one. It's killing the motion. The old Liefeld Lee little Superman curls they put on everyone. Gotta admit, it does look cool. It's easy detail to add too, you know. What's up, Gordon? I know, it's a miracle. Mr. Beast likes blowing shit up. Maybe more than he likes giving money. He's testing the theory of the utilitarian, what's good for the many, right? So if you got somebody that's doing good for a great number of people, but he's also benefiting by flexing his like weird little kink of blowing shit up. Do you let him keep doing it? Let's say yeah, probably. That's his that's his issues. He's got to figure out like why is he like blowing shit up, tearing stuff up so much. It's kind of like what's going on now with those e-girls fighting. Uh, Venti and Eliza Blue and Star Wars Girl, they're all out there brawling. They're attacking that Eliza Blue chick and the Martina Marcuda. I don't know how I feel about all of it. Like I haven't done a deep dive in it because who the fuck has time to waste time on some shit like that, right? But just seeing it scroll by my Twitter, like I asked the question, is this like a Lance Armstrong kind of thing? Like, all right, like let's say maybe this Eliza Blue fudged some of her past, but she's like, is she legit out there fighting human trafficking and pedos kidnapping kids? You know, is she like legit doing that? It seems to be the case. No, yeah, you're not coming back on, Nick. I'm not dealing with a fucking punk ass bitch like you today. I can do this shit on my own. That's for fucking sure. So anyway, speaking of e-thoughts, act like an e-thought, get treated like an e-thought. So yeah, you know, like Lance Armstrong, he was roided to the gills, winning, but he legit did beat cancer, right? And he set up a pretty awesome cancer foundation. I think. I don't fucking know, right? Like nobody ever really goes after these foundations because like all the rich people do it, right? It's like, hey, don't let them in on our little secret because they use that as tax write-offs a lot of times, not every time, right? So I don't know if Lance was doing that, but you know, he inspired all these people. Everybody's wearing his little bracelet, "Live Strong," and you know, doing the Make a Wish Foundation, going and meeting all these cancer kids. I would say that that dude was doing some good. But then they wanted to take him down. Even though hindsight, we know literally every motherfucker was uh, cheating. Like they had to get down to like the person that came in like 27th or something to find somebody that didn't have roids or EPO in their system. But he's the story, right? So who was the real winner? Well, they're all doing it. It's kind of like baseball, right? Those fucking dorky baseball writers. Baseball was like legit number two sport. And those clowns went and just tanked the entire league over steroids because some dudes were hitting home runs and breaking records and filling stadiums. Good luck getting a job as a baseball writer now, right? So anyway, this Eliza Blue chick, is she doing good? I don't know. I mean, at some point I might look into it, but it seems like she was, even though she may be full of shit, right? So what do you do in that case? I mean, what she's doing, fighting human trafficking, allegedly fighting it, and pedos and kidnappers and all this stuff. I mean, that's like fucking good work. Why do you want to go out and tear her down? You know, because she did a bunch of booty rap videos. They say it was she signed off on it, was consensual, and she promoted it. I mean, you do end up in weird life situations, and then you can have a moment of clarity, and all of a sudden you see like where you're at and what you're doing and how you got there. Were you coerced in it, manipulated? I don't know. Was she? Maybe. So that's my take on it. If she's legit fighting that and you're out there trying to tear her down, I don't know, bro. If you want to carry that cross, go ahead. Now they've made it into like this big, huge Twitter censorship thing, which I agree. Twitter shouldn't be censoring or banning people for that video, which was freely available on YouTube. So that's a little weird. Anyway, got the arc of this here a little off. Spent like 140 bucks on this camera, but now I see Elgato finally has a webcam that's 4K. And that damn thing, I've been watching reviews on it the last couple of days. It looks pretty fucking good. So I might be chunking down $300 for that. Like this one's okay. I have to turn off my overhead lights. We have recessed lights. I don't want to clip that much. See, uh-oh, we got trouble in paradise. I'm gonna have to split the difference here. I don't like how close his face is to the edge. And I haven't drawn the kid in the background yet, so he can be bumped over. Yeah, that's it. That's the ticket. I wish there was a way within I bet there is within OBS where I can highlight comments like you do in StreamYard. Mr. Good Brother. I'll be highlighting you nonstop, my friend. What else we got going on? What other kind? We got James Gunn taking over the DC universe. Basically, his first video was saying, "Yeah, everything was broken and sucked, and I'm gonna fix it." He shitted all over the Rock. At least that was my take. Um, Booster Gold. Like, who gives a shit about that? Sure. I mean, there's such a big catalog of characters. You can pick any one of them and put it. If you put the time in it, you can make something good. But I like legit. I've been drawing comics since 2008 professionally, and I have never heard of Booster Gold. I was such a Marvel dork growing up anyway. I always thought all DC shit was cringe as fuck. Ironically, though, as a kid, I loved Superman. I got all kinds of photos of me when I was a youngster in the Superman underoos with those things you have like the little wheel with the film in it. You hold it up and you click it and you like see images and stuff in it. I got like a Superman one of those and my Superman underwear and my Superman T-shirt and cape around my neck running around the living room. I mean, I look like a monster now. Everybody knows that. I mean, that's, look up the camera here, but I was a good-looking kid, even with my wide set eyes. I was cute, cute as fuck. But yeah, good luck on Booster Gold there, James Gunn. I will say, I think I'd probably be more likely to watch Booster Gold than another reboot of Superman. You know, it's like the reboot of Spider-Man or the reboot of the Hulk every time out. It's like you're making films for dorks. You think they don't know how the fuck they started? You think they didn't watch the other movies? Stop rebooting. Make a new movie, please. But, you know, they've been making comic book movies since 2000 basically, right? And within 20 years, it's the same shit that plagues American comics. It plagues the movies, and that's them constantly relaunching and rehashing. They were less than 10 years in before they fucking rebooted the Hulk. It's like what are you doing? You know, come with a fresh idea. Yeah, the authorities being made. But how's that going to be bringing anything new to the table after the boys done pulled up and just swagger jacked everything they did? You know, like his head's too big. His head ain't that thick. How you like that? I went from Eliza Blue to James Gunn after he had those famous party photos. Uh, it's like, it, do you care about the artist or the art, right? Because if you got a problem with any of that shit, you might as well throw your TV out the fucking window. Because that whole shit out there is ran by fucking weirdos. It's like my buddies in high school, they all went as NWA for Halloween. And if they were making movies now, they would have probably been canceled for doing blackface. But shit, dude, everybody was hyped up over some NWA back in the day. They wouldn't have thought a thing of it. Clearly coming from a good place, a funny place. They'd be called a racist. Yeah, he does like the quirky shit. It sounds like he's going to be heavy-handed in it, which is probably the only way to be. Like the Marvel dude, Feige or whatever. The minute you try to like turn over the reins to somebody else, they shit out a big old turd right on your chest. If you look at where James Gunn is in his career, this is it probably. If this is successful, then he's carved into stone as a super successful director. He'll always be able to do whatever he wants to do. He's almost there now, right? With the success of Guardians of the Galaxy, which is really good. Might be Marvel's best stuff. I like Thor Ragnarok a lot. I think that's a really comic book essence of a movie. My boy's teeth are set too far forward. There we go. I definitely got to start doing the watercolor streams again. Much more peaceful than bitching about movies. Maybe do some more Kim Jong Gi videos. Since that damn thing got 13,000 views, I could just do videos on him every day. Have a monster channel. But I think I've ridden enough coattails my whole career. Time to time to do my own thing. Waterhead. The stream keeps lagging. You don't know what it's called. You know what? It might be. Let me go into my mic. Is it the videos lagging too? Because I'll just turn off the noise gate on my mic. A lot of times that clips. I don't know if I can change settings on the fly. Let's see here. Output, bitrate. Let's go to 6,000. Apply. Okay. Ah, we'll see what that does. Yeah, I liked the 3D model of the Hulk from the first Hulk movie. I thought they nailed his proportions and everything. I thought it was closer to a Del Keown type Hulk. The second one, too ripped. Didn't like it. I don't like a bodybuilder Hulk. I like a hairless gorilla type Hulk. I think that's the better look. And Hulk's like my favorite character, so just telling you what I prefer. Um, and in the Avengers, I think they nailed him pretty good too. Yeah, they handed it off to an Artur, and then handed it off to, or they didn't hand it off. Ed Norton came in and strong armed them dudes on it. He took their shit. He said, "I'm gonna do what I want to do." And he's pretty much been kind of blacklisted from Hollywood over pulling that shit. Like, think about his career since. Not a whole lot there. And I don't know, if you go watch his Rogan interview, it's pretty terrible. He he wants to be the cool guy, real bad, real bad. Got my neighbor bud trying to sell me a guitar. You believe that? An acoustic. Y'all want me to break out the guitar? Play some jams? Well, too bad, because that would be terrible. I couldn't think of a worse idea. I'm not saying I won't do it one day, but it's a pretty terrible idea. Ain't nobody want to hear that shit. Although I would like to hear Del Count play. I want the Pit CD, the Pit Crew CD. I remember I was always too poor and too stupid to order shit out of like mail order stuff. Yeah, like my parents were basically illiterate. God rest their souls. But once I turned like old enough to figure it out and start doing it myself, like I ordered Street Fighter 2, the Japanese version from Electronic Gaming Monthly, I guess. And then I ordered those comic book greats videos. I had 3 or 4 of those. Watched those things religiously. To this day, I can like go into the fire up the video and I can go word for word with it. I got all the lines memorized like some dorks do with like my buddy Jay. He has all the star. He can go line for line on the first 3 Star Wars movies. Pretty crazy. And there are a lot of people that can do that. Latchkey kids, growing up, just put that in the VCR and play it on repeat nonstop. Beat my own tom tom. Yeah, I got an electronic drum kit. It's right back there behind that stool in that box. I should start doing music streams and just insist that I'm gonna make it in the music industry. Man, that's another thing. Like any kind of agent or editor type business, right? AI is just gonna take that shit over. My prediction still stands. It's gonna be outlawed before middle of the year. AI is toast. They're starting in with those Biden fakes that hit yesterday, where he's talking about transgender people. Holy shit, that thing is. It went pretty dark. Not gonna lie. Oh, look at this. We got comic book fireball up the top. Let's get rid of that shit. Let's go. Reclaiming the archetypes. Look at that. This shit got highbrow real quick. Anyway, now that I got the camera in a good position, it looks like it's coming in pretty clear over there. I might not have to spend $300 on a new camera after all. I'm sure that pleased my wife. I gotta have the new one, baby. The 3 people that tune in every time, they want higher quality, baby. Don't do this to me. Anyway, where were we? James Gunn, Booster Gold. I think it's all about trying to convince people to get their booster shots. That's what I think it's all about. That's why they picked that character. I made that tweet today on the Twitter. Hilarious, hilarious tweet. If you're wondering why I just licked my fingers, because I was getting the graphite off of it, like a pro move. Lick your finger and wipe it. Right? Lick it. Wipe it between your legs. Boom. Clean. No smears. That's how we do. Special effects in Ang Lee's Hulk is the watchable part. Yeah, dude, I love it whenever the dog, that Hulk dog, bit him. He goes flexed and broke that dog's jaw. That was fucking badass. No lag, cool. Well, I don't know. Well, we don't know what it was because I did two things, right? I turned off the uh, noise gate on my audio, which may have made it seem like it was stuttering, right? If it's clipping my audio, the video could have been still going fine, but I turned the video down from 8,000 kilobytes to 6,000. So thanks for letting me know, Gordon, good brother. You are a good brother. Let me tell you a story about my real brother. He comes back from hunting one time and he's covered in blood, head to head to toe, head to tippy toe, as Doctor Disrespect would say. And we were like, "What's wrong? What's wrong? What happened?" And he said that he shot the deer and it ran up under his deer stand and it wasn't dying. So he jumped down out of the deer stand onto the deer and cut the deer's throat. That's what he said he did. And no joke, bros, because I was talking about this story a couple days ago. When you're little, there are so many things you are told that you believe and take for granted. And at least, you know, 4 or 5 times a year, I think back to an old story from my childhood that was clearly bullshit that I've believed my entire life. And I'm pretty sure he didn't jump down, land on the deer's back, and cut the deer's throat like he said. But maybe he did. I don't know. But I'm gonna go with I don't think so. I don't think he did that. My parents were always said that he always had tall tales whenever he came back from playing. That he'd seen a bunch of funky monkeys and out in the woods and shit like that. He had an imagination. He ordered sea monkeys, an ant farm, customizable GI Joe, that draw the turtle course. Oh, dude, the draw the turtle course. What was it? They used to have the thing on TV all the time. Well, I signed up for it, but I was too young, I think. Anyway, 3 or 4 years later, I'm working at the convenience store. My mom calls, right? Like I mentioned, my parents were. My dad couldn't read. My mom had like an eighth grade education, but they did well. They did well. They did us kids right. Um, she called. She was in a huff. She's like, "Tommy, Tommy, Tommy. Yeah, this guy came by. He was asking about you. He said he'd heard about your art. And this is like pre-internet too. Or it's like not pre-internet, but like right around the time internet was taking off. But it wasn't like on my parents' radar, right? So, and it was from the calling the chorus to do the tape or to get the tape and to do that course. And they had this guy. He he toured like regionally. I say toured, but he went around regionally trying to recruit people to sign up for these. And his gimmick was he had a picture of this hot young girl. He's like, "You see this? Dude, he was taking over from this really old dude that was regionally going around recruiting people to do the courses. But this old guy felt really I had like strong pervert vibes from this guy. Like, hey, come to the hotel, we'll do the drawing test. Yeah, right. And then this redheaded dude was taking over from him, and he's the one that came by and talked to my mom. And then I called the number because I was like, oh shit, they found out about my art. Like I hadn't put it all together yet. Anyway, so we set up a meeting since he was in the area. He was visiting like 3 or 4 others, and he had this picture of this cute young teenage girl. I'm a teenager at the time, okay? So, and he's like, "You see her?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, we signed her up the other day." And I was like, "Oh yeah?" He's like, "Yeah, she looks just like Alicia Silverstone, huh?" And I guess he was like trying to use that to bait me in to signing up for this fucking dumbass drawing course. Anyway, so I'm like real close to signing up. We're poor, right? But we got to come up with the money. At this time, I have a job, so I can save up and do it. My mom's gonna obviously give me some money, help me out. Well, then the follow up came, and it was old perverted guy, the old dude, and my mom picked up on his vibes too, right? She's like, I don't know how I feel about this one. I'm like, yeah. She's like, he wants you to go back to the hotel room, and I'm like, yep. She's like, I don't know. I don't think you should do that. And I'm like, I agree. I'm on the same page with you. I ain't trying to get in a hotel room and get raped by an 80-year-old art dude. So that was the end of that. That Charles guy or whatever, I think that was his name. I can't remember his last name. Another part of the sales pitch was, I guess why I remember his name was, he said Charles Schultz, the guy that did Peanuts, also took the course. I forget what it was. It's like Society of Illustrators or something. Yeah, I know not to buy solar panels. That's all a scam, dude. Like I don't even know if they worked out the laws, but I remember reading about it like 10 years ago. Um, like getting it supplemented by your local elect, electric provider. There's like a shitload of loopholes going into that, and basically all your solar panel energy is uploaded to them, and then they give you like a credit or rebate or whatever. I don't know if it still works like that, but you got these doofuses out there that really believe solar's the way and it's going to save the earth. Uh, I'll give you a hint. It's not. If you go look at how many solar panels it takes to provide for like a city or something, it's ridiculous. Why you want to get me going on this shit, Admiral? Wait, whose blood was it? What's going on here? Well, did you ever get those sea monkeys up and running? Since I moved this fella over, my underdrawing is no longer correct. Good brother, did you get your sea monkeys up and running? What they look like? Did it come with like a little microscope to look at them? Pro tip, start with an underdrawing. Let me hit you with this right here. Yeah, there it is. Start with an underdrawing. Is it Weinstein or Weinstein? Shit, I bet he did go to the ghetto. I bet that, dude, that shit's more common. That's an easy target for them. If you watch like the documentary on the Boys Club and all that, and the Franklin cover up, yeah, they hit the ghetto. That's Alicia Silverstone, basically. There are perverts everywhere, fellas. You gotta you gotta watch your back. Everybody's always trying to sneak their dick in you. Fucking, what the hell is wrong with people? That's what I want. I bet, man. You know what? That makes me want to do an internet search for. First off, Gordon, I'm drawing. Okay, so you're gonna have to do some legwork for me. You got to figure out the name of that. It wasn't like Society of Illustrators, was it? And it wasn't Famous Artist Course, I don't think. That was different. That was like mail order books. It was based out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Yeah, hey, look, your mom probably right. I imagine political cartoonists are that whole thing is rife with perverts, especially if they're famous ones. So you know they're like in the DC circles. And if you go to the DC, you know they want you in the club because they want to control you. So next thing that you know, they got you hooked up with some young poon. Oh, and the hotel room was rigged up, and oh, by the way, it's an underage kid. Next thing you know, your political cartoon career is compromised. And or you just might be a pervert naturally anyway. Not you, I'm just saying. I didn't even tweet this one out, dudes. I'm glad you have my YouTube notifications turned on. Figure out the name of the course, Gordon. Please. You figure it out, and I'll send you an original page. You gotta DM me on Twitter though. Look at me, dude. I'm trying to sneak Gordon, good brother, into a Twitter DM. Gordon's gonna be like, my mom wouldn't let me reply to the DM with the address. But anyway, yeah, parents, dude, if they're picking up vibes like that, parents are almost never wrong about some shit like that. I think that's genetically built in pervert sensors. It's like if, like, look, I don't know if Jacko was a child rapist or not, but the parents that let their kids go and spend weeks at a time with Michael Jackson, I mean, like, uh, what the fuck is wrong with you? Seriously. And that's it. I mean, even if Jackson was a good dude, right? Let's say this is all bullshit, right? Like he pissed off the wrong people, and they're trying to tank his career and swindle him out of his music catalog. Yeah, you don't lend your kid to the biggest pop star in the world. That's fucking weird, you know. So I bet Gordon ordered the Pam and Tommy tape. I remember my buddy in high school ordered that. We were out of high school though. I think we were like 19-ish around the time that came out. And his house is basically a nonstop party. Everybody moves out. Everybody's like getting drunk and or smoking weed or whatever the fuck they do. And it was like a big event, right? So like outside of the normal party, there was the hey, I got the Pam and Tommy sex tape party. Even at the time, that was a little weird, right? By the way, that Pam and Tommy Hulu show about that whole incident, it's pretty good. It's about on par with the Motley Crue biopic, The Dirt. I felt that was entertaining. Krill, yeah. Yeah, I'm new to the whole multiple iterations of a drawing. I used to do like a thumbnail this size, right? Well, like little. roughed out figures, and then I would just go straight to the page. And let me tell you, it you the good news is you got a lot of fire for the page, right? Like you're not anywhere near burned out on any of it. You're rip roaring ready to go, but there's a lot of shit drawings happening doing it that way. And John, demanding excellence, being the hard ass that he is, said, I need better layouts. So I changed up my whole working method, and lo and behold, the results are way, way better. So I won't be going back. So I do tight layouts. I've talked about this a few times before. Tight layouts, take it into Clip Studio and add my perspective lines. You can see those here a little bit. Right. Just because it's easier in Clip Studio than dragging out a big ass ruler. And then everything's in place. You got it, you know, 80% of the work is done. So then it's all just having fun drawing. On this one, though, there was a change on the panel. I had this shot, and then I had him kind of turned, and he was here, and the kid was in the background, but it was still kind of the same shot twice. So on this one, put the kid in front, have him kind of turning around. So it's a little more variety. Art instruction school, that sounds right. That'll give me something to Google real quick. All right. Um, there we go. So let's see. Is it out of Minneapolis? Yep, that's the one. It says defunct 2018. Nah, those motherfuckers were defunct back then, sending out that crew of perverts. They're beat. All right, Gordon. DM me your address and I'll send you a page. I'll send it'll be one from Bram. Deal with it. Oh, check it out, bros. Deal with it. Oh shit, wrong one. Deal with it. Right? Special effects. I tried to tell y'all that I was gonna be coming correct in 2023. I put down the little bottle of booze, unleashing all my skills at all times. I ain't mad. I'm having a good time. I'm just not gonna put up with some punk ass bitch like you shitting on my hard work. That ain't gonna happen. You can go fuck yourself. But if you wanna get on your knees and apologize to me in the chat and tell everyone that you were in the wrong, then I'll accept your call and allow you back on. But until then, you can go fuck yourself. Mm-mm. No, I'm not answering it. You gotta apologize. Just say, I'm sorry I came at you so hard. Just can't do it. Not you're not humble enough to be on with me. I'm trying to create good vibes in this universe. I'm not out there tearing down people, except for these old art school perverts, right? Fuck those guys. Yeah, it makes me want to do a search and find out, like if there are any cases where the art instruction schools, uh, any of those guys got in trouble with the law. Because I bet they did. I'm gonna look that up after I'm done streaming. Not gonna lie, bros, I hate a pervert. Hate him. Remember when the Trumpster was shitting all over Anthony Weiner? Said he's out of jail. Hide your kids. He burnt that dude to a crisp. Yeah, I'm fair. I put in um, I'd say about 12 hours over this last week building up stuff to do a show regularly with Nick. And we're talking a fucking show, right? You guys done you've seen my special effects. Let me hit you with my special effects again. Right? Right there? No? Alright guys, we're having technical difficulties here. Like I said, technical difficulties. Let me look at this. Toggle. Hmm. Yeah. I don't know. Can't have nothing nice. Got us a nice little bell. Right? There it is. Now it's showing up. Turn that one off. Turn that one off. I just wear these. It's fine. Anyway, yeah, I try to do something with a little production, you know? Use all my skills. Because I've got some motion graphics skills, which isn't saying anything. There are 12-year-olds with more motion graphic skills than I have due to Twitch streaming and all that shit. But yeah, I would like to have a high production show. Give something to the people a little more than just guys looking into the camera and bitching about the latest nerd shit going down. I like to be able to incorporate bits and stuff on the fly. But some people want to shit all over those efforts, right? I'll be right back on this. There's that. Thug Life. They're both off. I don't know. Too much stuff. Oh. Let me show you guys something. This shit cracked me up yesterday. 1 second. Oh, not that one. Trying to get banned over here. Well, it turns out I send too many messages to my friends. It's hard to dig through this. There we go. Ah, look at this shit. This cracked me up yesterday. You look easy to draw. He said, try it. Boom. Nailed it. Oh my god. Killed that dude. And then somebody said, look who else is easy to draw. I did. Andrew Tate. Get out of here, Twitter. Bro, is that not Tate? Yeah, anyway. Anyway. Um, my eyes are not wide set. You're supposed to have equal distance between, right? So one eye width. It just so happens I have big eyes, so the width between my eyes is big. But dude, it's the exact same. Exactly. My face is basically the golden ratio. Yeah, Eyes Wide Shut is Kubrick's best film. He rats out all the perverts. How could you not like that? Rumor has it, this is like internet message board rumor, that obviously the rumor is they killed him over this stuff, right? But he was an old ass dude anyway. So, but the movie AI was going to be about him outing Hollywood pedophilia, and that's why he had like a secret room with only with a landline that only could dial into Steven Spielberg. Like I do think that part is true though, which is crazy, right? Because I think he was working on him with it, and then he did. So who knows? All right, we're gonna. I got two panels here done, minus the background, but that's just gonna be smoke since it's gonna be dialogue heavy, right? So, y'all want me to draw another panel, or we're gonna let Nick back in? It's up to you guys in the chat. Do you want Nick in here or not? I mean, if you guys want to hear an absolute monster, I'm talking like the worst dude I know, a real piece of shit. I'll let him back in, but it's up to you guys. Yeah, all the dude from 1960 to the end point was Jay Giles band. Angel is the centerfold. That is like peak hot babe, right? After that, everybody turned into a slut. So everybody's trying to show they ass. Yeah, those pictures of Tate coming out of the jail or whatever. His hair is looking a little thin on top. It looks like one of those infomercials where they do that hair spray paint, but whatever. It's weird how he came on to my radar at the same time. Well, not at the same time as everybody else, but like I'd never really even heard of the dude until midway through last year, and then all of a sudden he's everywhere. Yeah, Charlie was. He's asking if he could take photos of me to show the ladies he was trying to recruit into the art school. Hang on, I'm scrolling up. I don't see. Okay, I see the apology. I see the apology. Call back one more time. By the way, it asked me to rate the Skype call every time I'm done talking with you, and I give it 1 star every time. Not based on quality of the call, just based on you. I give it 1 star. So our conversations, you single-handedly tanked Skype. You're the reason why Zoom took over. You're live. Apologize live.
I apologize in the chat already.
No, no, you gotta do it live because you were tearing me down live. Like not
All
everybody's
right.
gonna read the chat. You gotta apologize.
Oh,
You
I'm
got it.
sorry, Tom.
All right, I forgive you.
I didn't mean it. I had too much. I had too much gusto this morning.
Yeah.
I had my feelings hurt because I wanted to do a professional stream. You've been working so hard on it. I
Mm.
figured a little. Positive energy sometimes not a good motivator. Sometimes you got to hit them with that negative, overbearing mom
Well,
energy.
I'm hopped up on prednisone, so you sent me right into a roid rage.
I was just trying to motivate you, so my sincerest apology.
My daughter had like strep or whatever, and she has some leftover antibiotics and leftover prednisone. She had like 18 prednisone left over. Yeah, I mean it's only like a 20 pack or something. Anyway, well, they're gone to Florida for a wedding, and they left us to babysit her dog, and her dog just kept jumping up and then off the bed the night before, thinking that they were home. And it felt like the next morning that I'd had the hell beat out of me because I got up and went and slept on the couch. So my wife could actually get some sleep since she has like a day job. So, and we didn't do a show yesterday, and I was ready to do one today. But then he said he wants to do it later. But I'm playing guitar later.
I want to do it later. I just don't want to. You want me to go to my iMac, my brand new iMac, and I'm drawing right now, so it's hard.
Yeah.
But I would be willing to lean back in this chair and do the. I want to see what you've been working on. I'm excited. You showed me a little sample. We got intro music. We got PTI style breakdown of all the drama and comics. Just high end production, and I was excited about it. So I'm thinking tonight we'll hang out, do a good thing. But no, you're hanging out with a little neighbor kid. If I was those kids' parents, I'd be a little suspicious going over to a 58-year-old man's house.
Hey, dude, I was groomed myself by the art instruction schools. How crazy is it that they're out of business? Like they were such a big part of my childhood TV growing up, and I can just like lay into them, dude. I can claim that that whole thing was a pervert operation, and nobody can sue me. We should buy up the rights to the name and start it all over. What do you think about that? Nah.
Yeah, as a YouTube show, you can find those old books on eBay and stuff that they used to send out.
Yeah.
Old courses. Yeah, I like it. I'm down with that.
Gordon says, "Call back one more time." That's what his mom used to say to his dad. When he show up, did he hit her or did she hit him with the frying pan? Where'd you grow up, Gordon? Oh, he wants to hear more of your original art dealer war stories.
Wars?
War
There's some people that
stories.
are like stories about guys going to war over art collecting. I know some of that stuff. It's just some crazy shit. A couple of guys get known to be like one guy's collector. Actually, my art rep's dealing with a pretty big artist right now, and they're putting out an art book, and he's like, instead of going to the artist, he just goes to the collector because he knows the market and gets all the scans and stuff. But there's some couple guys that they got enough money where they do crazy things like they'll like if there's another quietly guy. It's kind of like a weird thing. It's kind of like market manipulation, right? Since I'm an art collector, but I'm also an artist. I always say, and I believe this. I do believe it to be true that quietly is the best. Well, I've had so many of the modern quietly collectors come up to me and say, "Well, I started collecting him because you said he was the best, right?" And I got a few spills about why quietly is the best. And one of the key factors is all your modern greats, your young guys, Dragata, Trad
Digital.
Moore, Paul Pope. Well, no, all those guys, if you ask them, got James Heron, all of them have quietly no less than number three of their all-time favorites. All of them.
Hmm.
So if it's all the youth that are referencing him
Is that
or
just
are
because they
digging
said
him,
that? They told you that just so you'd shut up? Or do
probably.
you think they really like him that much?
No, they gotta they're playing the game. They want to appease me too. It's all good.
It's an
I
acquired
got a
taste. I didn't like him. I like him now. I didn't like him.
the new Mark Miller podcast had Ramita Jr. on, and he was talking about it. Was like you can't get old in this game because you got the Frank Quietly's of the world show up and they just turn everything on its head. He was giving Vin all the love in his Mark Miller interview. But anyway, basically it's but what happens is then all of a sudden you're like there's two things you can do. You can get friends with those guys that collect the same people, or you can get enemies with them. I got a guy, another collector named Chuck Arnold who's got a huge quietly collection too, probably twice as big as mine now. But he started collecting quietly because of me. Well, all of a sudden, it doesn't take one person to make a market. It's always on these bidding auctions, it's always the second highest bid that establishes the highest price, not the top bid. So if no one's in the market, I'm getting pages for $300 or $400. But if we both want a page and we both got money at the
Oh!
time,
Hey, hang on, brother. Evidently, you got that high pitched voice on again. So really, Frank Quietly, blah blah blah. All right, all
So
right.
anyway,
There you go.
so what happens is you start
Tell you what, I made you apologize, dude. You had to swallow your nuts. Came crawling back.
so what happens is like there's been a few times where a quietly page will come up and it should have been 1,000, but now it went for 2,000
Mhm.
because I know me and him are both going at it. But the opposite can happen too. You'd be like, man, my money's tight right now. There's these pages coming up. Are you in or out on this? You know, we'll send each other a friendly text. I'm out, and then we'll figure out. You know, you'll save some money that way. But there's guys that I think a really big one was there was a big war for the preacher covers. And what had happened was, I think this isn't going to be exact, but something along these lines. Glenn Fabry started the series, painted those covers. One of those was gifted cover number one, and cover number one and issue number one stuff is always worth the most. Was gifted as a wedding present, you know. Well, in the meantime, there's one collector who's like, well, I'm getting all the preacher covers, right? I'm getting all of them. So he's going and he's buying them and he's buying them. Every time someone finds one, he buys it. He gets directly with Fabry and starts buying them. So he's got all the painted preacher covers except for number one, which is that's a motherfucker not having the one. And then all of a sudden the number one shows up. And if you have, and the number one, well, you might be paying 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 times the price just to complete it,
So
right?
you think that's why your Flex Mentallo is in that position? Is that what you're saying?
No, no one's collected. No, number one's always worth more. Yeah, but yeah, I think it's. I don't know if Flex Mentallo will ever reach the pinnacle of like right now with the James Gunn announcements. They're going to do the Batman and Robin story arc that Grant Morrison did, but quietly he's known. He's the cover artist on like the first 10 issues of that, I think, maybe 12. But he did the first 3 issues and then bounced. So that's a quietly project. The All Star Superman thing that he's clearly been showing All Star Superman art off and showing himself reading it. I don't know how you would adapt that because, you know, Superman flies into the sun at the end, but it is like this wholesome regrounding of Superman and his roots, essentially. So, but anyway, I don't know. There's like all these wars, and I know that these guys will bid people up, and there's all kinds of fun. It's a whole subculture of people. They're all just like us. They're all kind of nerdy guys, but they've come into wealth either through crypto or through finance or through whatever. There's some big guys out there that collect comic art. Like Danzig's a big collector. Um, DeCap.
Wait, on who? On whose?
I don't know what collection he has. There's a couple random guys. Obviously, the big one is Dave Mandel, who's the writer and showrunner of a lot of big shows, namely Seinfeld. He did the Man Hands episode, Bizarro Jerry, but he wrote for SNL, and then he went on and made Curb Your Enthusiasm. He was the showrunner on Veep. He's doing the White House Plumbers now, and that guy's really big into comic art collecting. And he was the first guy to break, I think, 500,000 on the Frank Miller splash, like in 2012, 2013.
Hmm.
Frank Miller, Dark Knight Returns, then jumping over the city shot. The famous shot. So it's an interesting little world with a lot of interesting people, but the common ground is always that everybody loves comic books, for one reason or the next.
They're trying to tell me it's lagging again, dude. What the fuck? I just did a speed test. It's not my internet. Video. How about upload? All right, I can't do any more than that. How much you got left on your page?
I'm repenciling in rough. Don't act like we're gonna quit already. Just got here, baby.
No,
Let's work.
I gotta draw a giant leg. We're good.
I got a bunch of figures. It depends on how. It's all these figures falling out of the sky. And Axe Wielder John chopping somebody up. And I told myself I only have to zoom in on the guy's face and have it split in half with Axe Wielder John being in the middle. But then I thought, nah, I'll make it impossible on myself and actually show John spinning with his axes with figure after figure after figure. So I'm not too smart.
Doing the Jeff Darrow thing, I guess.
Yep, same thing. And I've already done this shot already once, so it's like, why am I doing this? Just hate myself, I guess.
Yep. Sometimes you just make those decisions. But just so you know, I hate you too.
I extended a fight scene though for this while I was waiting on the colors. The colors take so long.
Mm-hmm.
So
You got that straightened out yet?
yeah, kind of. We'll
Yeah.
find out.
All
We'll
right.
find out. Just paid another colorist last night, so we'll see. Taking it all in house now on this next part and see how that goes. Ken, kid who's been coming over, went to the Kubert School, won a bunch of awards there, won the scholarship all 3 years in a row. I met him 5 years ago, and he started coming over, and he would ramble on about what he was into, and I'm telling him what actually how I see the industry, and he keeps coming back and he deals with me. So he's trying to get some steady work, and he did a boom cover for me. He colored a boom cover for me, and then he did some little bit of extra work for me too. So then I figure keep the colors in house moving forward. I can help him more hands on. It'll definitely be just as fast because we're so far behind. Like we were supposed to have it done in November, ready to ship, but now it's obviously February 3rd. But my part's been done, but I was like, while I'm sitting around, I can extend a fight scene. So, but they're on my heels. We got about 6 pages left plus corrections on a 120 page book. It's actually 168 pages because of all the extras we're putting in. But
Jay Ryan, why are you saying rest in peace? These guys they're in my head now. They have me thinking the stream is done. Anyway, there's a Dave
yeah,
Gibbons Green Lantern page on auction right now.
you can compare some of his. Dave is repped by Quietly's rep. Brit Comics Art or Brits Comics Art. And that guy's name is Joe Melchior. He's the rep for Boland, Quietly, Gibbons, a couple other big cats, like Mark Buckingham, a couple other guys. And that's pretty interesting. You can see what the regular pages go for there. But there's all kinds of stuff in comics. Because, like, here's a crazy story in the deal. Heritage Comics is the big auction house for comic book art. They have some at Christie's, and they've obviously got Comic Link and a couple other ones. But Heritage is big. Heritage tends to get bigger prices than everyone, and you can look it up. And Heritage has been in these huge scandals, which is shilling, which is where the auction house bids on their own stuff. All the auction houses in the world are in. All the big ones are New York, London, but Heritage happens to be in Texas. Why would they pick Dallas, Texas? And here's why. Because back in the day when you were let's say there was ranches out here and you were driving cattle, you would have to drive the cattle, but then whenever the cattle came to auction, one of these ranchers have to be the auctioneer. Well, they want to bid too. Nobody wanted to ever be the auctioneer because they were trying to run their business. So they would put somebody up, but they had an amendment to the law that said the auctioneers in Texas can bid on their own auctions, right? So to this day, that is exploited by Heritage Auctions. And that was found out because there was a name of a guy who was winning auctions at a higher rate than everybody, and they couldn't figure out the community's small, so they couldn't figure out who it was. And I forget the name. People will know it in the community, but basically they put two and two together and realized that the auctions were getting goosed to their max, essentially, like their max minimum bid. Like, say there's a quietly page for 1,500, I would always win it for 14.98, stuff like that. I wouldn't get it for 1,100, right? And I was just like, man, did I get lucky that my last increment did it, or what's going on? And they basically had that peeled back. And Heritage is Jim Halpern's a great guy, the guy who runs it. And I know he loves comics, and he's been really kind to me. But there's been all kinds of weird, shady stuff if you look up. Like, all these auction houses have it, but there's the Wata Games stuff where these video games, the old cartridge games, are getting graded now,
Mhm.
and they
Oh
decided to
yeah,
make
yeah, yeah. You were telling me like some
their
crazy story that was going on with that shit.
yeah, and then what they do is they like get on Pawn Stars, have their own guy who owns the game come in and be the expert when someone brings in the game. So it's like all set up, and then that establishes a price based on a crazy appraisal that works for Heritage. The guy that works for Heritage appraised it, right? Well, then who owns the game? $1 million Mario. Oh, it happens to be Heritage co-owned with the appraiser, and they just got on TV to appraise it. Oh, and then when you go to get your stuff CGC'd, who owns CGC? CGC gets a cut on those big sales. Do you know who owns that? Who owns CGC? Does anyone ever look that up? Oh, it's also Heritage. So they get a cut of everything they sell. And if you go to put something in the auction, they get there's a seller's fee and there's a buyer's premium of 30%. So they're just like making money hand over fist. And then all of a sudden, let's say you go around and like
Wait, wait,
Heritage
wait, wait.
did, or
So let's say I have a a grade 10 issue of Cable's first appearance. If by miracle somehow have that, if I sell
yeah.
it at an auction, they get a cut. CGC gets a cut.
Well, when you get it graded, you're going to have to give them money to grade it.
Oh yeah,
And
okay. I'm saying like
well, there's
after.
more than that. There's more than that. And Heritage owns that, right? So they're going to get that cut. But if it's worth like $1 million book, it costs more to get the grade. That's how I understand it. But even if that doesn't matter, then you put it in their auction and then they sell it for you. They get 30%. So let's say it sells for 7,000. Let's say it sells for $100,000. You actually got to pay 130,000 if you're the buyer. And then if it sells for 100,000, you've got to pay 15% or 10%. So you're actually only going to clear 85. So they're making the juice on $100,000 sell. They make $45,000 off of it. And they're the ones that graded it to begin with. So now you've got all this incentive rolled into the system to make sure that the markets don't tank on this stuff, right? Well, it's an open market. You can't do that. Oh, except if your auction house is in Texas, where you can keep the market high. So let's say, and if you are actively bidding on your own auctions and going in and buying people's collections, like let's just use the games because games are easier to quantify. When people were selling these old games at pawn shops and old collections, they weren't worth anything. So you can go buy everyone's NES games here's 1,000 video games for $400. Cool. Well, they went around the country and did that and bought up every big collection they could, all the old stores and everything. Then they had all the stock. Okay. Well, but there was already a company that had been grading games for years, and they're valued and trusted. Well, Heritage said, well, we're making our own grading one, and anyone that sends us a already shelled game got to use our grading systems. Why? So they're all getting regraded now. And we're establishing the market by going on to Pawn Stars with a rigged little play here where we establish the thing, and then we say, okay, and then all of a sudden we say, oh, well, we've got 1,000 copies of this $1 million Mario, and we know there's not many out there because we bought them all up last year. So now we release them one at a time, and everyone's like, oh, that's that $1 million Mario. I gotta have it because I saw it on Pawn Stars, right? Oh, and then when they sell that to you, they've juiced it from $1,000 to $50,000. Also, then when you start getting your stuff in, you got to get it graded by them. And then when they sell it, they get their 15% and 30% from the fucking buyer. Like that's unbelievable, dude. Like, that's unbelievable. And that's known. You know, that's not even a secret. You know,
Keep
but
talking.
the but
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab a book to open up on stream.
so that's a known secret in the collecting community as far as comic art. But here's the deal: they are it's their business. They can do what they want, and they are real fans of a lot of this stuff. I know Jim's a huge art collector and helps out people in the community, and he's a good guy. But these are kind of the open secrets, and we're all complicit in it because hey, if a quietly page comes up that I've been wanting for a while, I'm gonna buy it. I don't care about that 15%. That's the thing I want. It's like we're drug addicts, right? Like we want the thing instead of being like, no, I'm out. I'm not playing that game. Well, you're not going to get that piece. And then down the line, guess what? You buy the right pieces, they go up in value. And so I know I said this spiel last time, but the way collecting works, or what I learned about the economy from collecting, is this: money is called currency, electricity is called currency. So let's just pretend that's power, right? You spend your power working all day, your energy, you build up a store of energy, it's given to you in currency. So you've now got this ball of currency. There's no such thing as producing extra currency. So when the government prints off more money, what they're doing is siphoning the energy out of your money. That's inflation, right? You have less buying power. Well, where does that energy go? If they've siphoned it off and they're putting it back into the system, it goes into the assets. That's why home values go up 40% because they printed 40% of the money. That's why the right pieces of comic art go up in value. That's why the right assets go up in value. It's all currency. And once you look at it like it's energy stores, and when the government prints the money, it's an energy siphon off you actually don't want to hold liquid cash. You want to have assets that you can sell quickly, like comic art, or possibly not as easily tracked too, because these could be hand-to-hand transactions. You can go to a show and buy these pieces. You could buy a bunch of art from someone before they're big and they get big, like someone like Trav Moore, whose original art of complete issue might be, you know, 50, 100,000, $70,000 at this point. Well, you could have been going up to him and buying his pages for $300 10 years ago, but 300 was too much money for you. Well, now the market's exploded. Well, who knows that you have that art if you just walk up at a show? So there's all kinds of shit people do. But like you find the best and you collect the best early. That's what I would do. And then you wait a decade or 2 decades. And the best, what does the best mean? Well, the shit you like on stories you like, because if you like the story, that means other people like the story. That means there's more buyer for that content later on. Obviously don't buy commissions because those aren't published because people want the published art. Make sure they're big characters, or like you can get something like Saga doesn't have a really original art, but things that are clear winners, over time, like Y the Last Man or Preacher, that they don't need a main character, but they got a great writer and a great artist attached. And that tends to be the stuff that wins. But the stuff that really, really wins, the blue chip of the blue chip, is big character, big writer, big artist, great sales. You get all three of those, and make sure you get the superhero in suit, right? Don't just get the D page because that's what you can afford. It's actually way better to save up and buy an expensive page than it is to buy 10 average pages. You might be like, well, I like the art. That's fine. But the Superman in costume prime page, there's an amplifier on it. Let's say all-star Superman pages were going for $300 or $400. They went to 500, 600, 700, 1,000, 2,000. That's fine. But in the meantime, the cover you could have bought for 2,000 now has gone up to 30,000. Do you see how much that's gone up over the 500 to the 1,000? One's gone up 50% or 100%. One's gone up fucking in 1,000%. So that extra money paid early for the right piece pays off because it has an amplifier on it, because it's a more known piece. It's the cover, it's the whatever. So you get in this mix of like people who love it for the art and the little moments in storytelling, which people will like that too, but really people want the iconic image tied to the thing. So I don't know. That's what I've learned. And it's hard though, because I go to these shows and I still get commissions and I know I'm just pissing my money off. And then there's like with me, with Axe Wielder, I'm paying this master painter, Das Pastoras. He's really known as a master in Spain. No one knows him in the American comic market much. So I'm hiring him, but I'm buying the originals when he's done. Well, that means I've got to like kind of build up his market on my own. How do I do that? Make sure my property's awesome. Make sure my story's awesome that he's working on. Make sure I pump him up all the time, you know? And just in the quietly market, like I said, I turned on some of the biggest guys that are paying top dollar now. There's guys out there paying $200,000 for McFarlane Spider-Man and the Jim Lee X-Men. Okay, well, what was the next big run in the odds? It was probably New X-Men, right, with Grant Morrison and Quietly. Those pages were $300, $100, $200. Just recently, one hit 10,000. Well, everyone's like, "What? That's crazy! How can that happen?" Oh, it's pretty easy because these guys are paying 200 for stuff 5 years earlier. Well, what happens when 5 years when the aughts turn into the 90s, which the 80s already hit and the 70s already hit? But now the only difference with the aughts and the 2010s is the sales weren't nearly as high as those other times. So the pool's smaller, but you still got prime nerds that read that stuff that have great jobs. You only need two that want a piece because the second guy always sets the market.
We got fabulous Phil Diaz in the chat. I just opened up his swimsuit stuff he sent me, the hardcover and the calendar. I'd had it sitting in there for a couple weeks, haven't opened it yet. I was going to do it on stream, so why not now, right? Everybody likes a sexy unboxing.
Anyway, that's some of my thoughts about collecting. I'm not saying any of them are right, but that's what I've learned so far. The main thing I learned, the most valuable thing is, and not that I have any money, but it's acquiring assets. Because like everyone's like, the stock market's coming back right now. Bitcoin jumped to 23,000. What do you think? It's not all of a sudden being adapted and used into your grocery stores. So what's happening? Oh, pretty simple. Your government just printed a 1.9, 1.7 trillion more dollars. You know, that's all they did. They just siphoned more currency off, and they put it back in the assets. And that's the thing is like these people then like, oh, I need to go buy some. Like Tesla spiked, it hit like 101 and it spiked to like 178, right? And the reason why is they just spent all that money. And you might look at the bill and be like, oh, well, it's going to stuff like diversity or whatever you think. Doesn't matter. That's money in the system. It's going to trickle everywhere. And people that are smart know that, okay, the money's being pumped back. That they're siphoning off the power supply out of people holding cash. Great. Now it's time to go buy some assets.
Clearly, the best image in the whole book right here is the one I did.
Tommy ain't listening. I'm giving like real advice.
Dude, they're listening to you. I ain't got to listen to you. I've heard all this shit.
Looking at chichas and stuff, cartoon chichas like that matters. But get out of here. It's fine. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you like your art, but I'm giving real advice here. I ain't gonna be ugly no more though. I decided. I'm done being ugly.
When it's like 90% of your character makeup, that's gonna be real hard. You're gonna be an empty shell. Dude, Lawless is awesome. I really like that. Now I take that back. His might be my favorite piece in here.
Let me go and see if I can see the comments real quick. I'm gonna mute you. Hang on, might mess up everything. Let's see the chat real quick. Let's see what happens here. Look at Zaid Comics trying to step on me.
You like that Dio song? You're the star of the masquerade! Right? Dude, did I nail Dio or what? Ronnie James. Shelby's classic Image Ink style. Preston's is pretty badass. For real. On God. Yeah, I got a calendar too. I don't think I even paid for the calendar. But I did do a couple of pieces of art, so.
Oh, you got a Star Wars girl calendar?
No, it's the Zaid Bros. Their swimsuit stuff they did. There's a Pitt piece I did. Mm-hmm.
Is that the highlight of your career so far? Be honest.
No.
Working on Pitt, that's got to be the biggest character.
The highlight of
Come
my
on.
career is what comes next.
That's why I said so far.
Oh, other than that, I don't know. Game of Thrones is probably bigger than Pitt, right?
Pitt for comics, like your childhood. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. Well, Pitt's the highlight.
See, that's exactly how it goes with the quietly collectors or with the quietly artists. I eventually wear them down. They're like, yeah, you're right. He's the best. What they're actually saying is, I don't want to talk to you anymore. So they disagree. So I'm belligerent. It's all good.
They're impressed that you aren't having to take a breath when you talk. He's got a valve that pipes it straight in.
Yeah, I have that smoker's disease. I got a hole in my throat that just keeps sucking in air.
Mr. Joe Sontag. Got some hustler bustlers in this issue or book. I like the hair on that.
Look, is this guy Phil letting you on his streams lately? What's Phil up to?
Bro,
Don't
Phil
let
Phil ghosted me, bro.
don't fucking let him on your stream. Like you just hijacking the stream trying to get you to promote his book. Get out
I
of
know, right? I'm a nice guy. Look at that. Cecil. He's got a Biggins abs too. That's pretty funny. Got them spray painted abs. Uh, oh, cool. Black and white in the back. Now this I dig. Really, I'm glad you did this, Phil. Nice touch. There should have been at the beginning. Yeah, you should have bookended it with the pencil. I guess you kind of did, but that could have been the pencil, and this could have been the inks in the back. Everybody's got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips.
when you talk about Zayd.
Oh man. So Gordon Goodbrother is a buyer. What are you about? What are you collecting? Games, or are you collecting art? Gordon was about to sink his entire family's life savings into a used Mario Kart game.
Um, what's another good one? I was trying to think. Like for example, if you believe in this Comicsgate thing and you like Cyberfrog, well, they had a first on Clink. They had like early Ethan Van Sciver's Cyberfrog when he was like 16-year-old's page.
Mhm.
That will actually be worth the most if it ever hits, and it's super cheap because it's not the new stuff, it's not the promoted stuff, and it just randomly dropped. So you can keep your eyes peeled and get a page like that for a couple hundred instead of paying 1,000 or whatever he's charging now. And that, if he ever does develop the property into multimedia, that would actually be a huge home run, right? Without having to pay the extra gamble. And those pages as an early page would, even though they're not as good, whatever, it's still going to be worth more over time. This is a little advice from me. Keep your eyes peeled for shit you like.
So Warren Buffett says he only invests in stuff he likes and buys.
That's why that's the best thing. That is the best side. Always don't assume you're going to make any money at it. Always buy what you love. And the secret to that is that if you love it, it's bound that someone else loves it too, and then there'll be a market for it.
You want me to read the strip, like read it out loud right now, Phil?
Dude, do not read his strip out loud. Why you help? He ain't ever helped you out a day in your life.
Oh my. We have some developing Comicsgate drama.
I
Breaking.
ain't in Comic Skate. I am in my studio working. That's what I'm in.
Nobody, trust me, dude. We wouldn't let your ass in Comicsgate.
Oh, you're a gatekeeper now, huh? You're a fucking gatekeeper. Sounds like man, whenever y'all get in that drama, like Abe was in that drama and he was like saying somebody's not real Comicsgate or whatever. I'm
Bro,
like,
Gabe
I'm like,
disappeared off the face of the fucking earth. What's crazy is, like, I figured that's kind of what was gonna happen or whatever. But then he like legit disappeared, bro. Like I didn't even realize he was gone until the other day. And I'm just
was he
like,
gone? Was he gone? Is he gone?
I hadn't even seen a tweet from that dude.
I think it's weird when anyone says y'all ain't part of this. What are y'all talking about? It's just that we're all in the comics market. Everyone's in the comics market, you know? Like it's weird. I don't agree with it. I don't like it.
Yeah, Nick's a body hacker. You should see what he's done to his body experimenting over the years. He read Tim Ferriss's book.
I'll take a bath in goat milk and oatmeal. It's good for you.
Tim Ferriss is one of those dudes that I I don't want to like, but I do.
Yeah, I guess if you put on a pinstripe suit and tell me to soak my ass in oatmeal or whatever he's doing, I guess it's a little more, with a foreign accent too. Is he a foreign accent? He looks like he got a
No, what
foreign
are you
accent.
talking about? No, you might be thinking of somebody else. Tim Ferriss is
No,
like the blonde guy.
no,
Oh,
I was
fucking
thinking about the gray hair guy, the guy that's in what's it called? Pinstripe suit and gray hair.
you're Ass Lesko.
No, 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 no. He's one of these. Oh my God, what's his name? It's not Tim Ferriss. It's London Real, right? London Real. That
Oh,
guy.
that
Yeah,
guy,
yeah,
that guy. Yeah.
yeah. London Real, and he might not even be from London, but since it's called London Real, I give him an accent in my head. So stupid. Yeah, he's got a Dorian Yates interview that's fantastic. The bodybuilder.
Yeah, yeah, Dorian.
You got some info on Dorian Yates? You don't like him either?
No, no, Dorian. He's all right.
Hey, you're bound to strive if your name's Dorian growing up, you know?
Yeah, I don't. He was on Rogan too, and I don't know that I buy his story about how much he worked out. He he
I don't
he
know if I buy
tries.
any.
Yeah, he tries to claim he only worked out 3 times a week.
Yeah, but super hard, right?
Yeah, nah, dude. I ain't buying that, dude. Not You're not getting that physique working out 3 times a week. There is no amount of roids that you can take that's going to do that.
No, Roy's are pretty awesome from what I hear. Never taken them, but I know a lot of people that have. And
Dude, I'm on him right now.
I know the way you showed your ass earlier.
Prednisone, dude, it's got me swelling up. What's up,
Tommy,
Genuine?
that's like a R&B rapper's name from the 90s,
Ah,
dude.
that's like a fella here in the chat. Genuine.
No, Genuine is R&B name from. That's definitely
No, no, no.
R&B.
That's just the guy in the chat.
So the Genuine is here.
Yeah, yeah. Longtime comics fan. Genuine.
Genuine's like the best name for a R&B singer in the 90s.
Yeah, it's like street plus. I don't know. It's hard to explain, right? It is like a perfect uh, name for a performer. It's got a good ring to it. Anyway, I'm glad he's here.
Imagine we had our production value right now. We'd be blowing it up. Tell them to come back tonight.
I'm playing guitar tonight.
Ugh.
Hey, there's always tomorrow. They're out of town still. We haven't even got the full list together. Frank,
I'm not,
Frank,
I'm not a Jimmy Kimmel fan, but you know, Jimmy Kimmel has that Mexican guy on there that he's always thinking is funny. You know what I'm talking
kind of like
about?
Harold on David Letterman back in the day.
Guillermo, his name's Guillermo or something like that. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't watch Jimmy Kimmel, but anyway, go
Well,
ahead.
I'm just saying, like, he's like not really knowing what's going on the show, but you cut over to him sometimes and he says something kind of Hispanic and everyone thinks it's funny because it's network television trash. Well, our version of that is going to be your son in law in the background of every one of our streams.
Uh,
He's just gonna be our guy back there with his headset on, just
guy, guy on,
yapping.
guy on the couch.
Yeah, guy on the couch. He's our guy on the couch. Why are young men so inconsiderate? They don't know how good they have it. Like I don't know. We talked about this last time with the
Here's what's
kids.
crazy is like once we got on, he started talking, and then whenever I ended the stream, he stopped talking, and then when he started talking again, he was talking in a quiet voice. I'm like, why didn't you do that whenever I was live, motherfucker?
Just inconsiderate. Young men are inconsiderate.
It's all about that next game, that next snipe. There's a little Doctor Disrespect for you. The next play is going to be a game-winning one.
You saw that they're gonna ban that AI soon.
I
Looks
told
like
you,
it.
dude. Who predicted that? The kid predicted that. I think I even have that on video, like on one of the streams, with me predicting it would be banned by the middle of the year. Yeah, once that dark, dark, dark Joe Biden video hit, holy shit, dude.
What was the Joe Biden one? I haven't
He
seen it.
he was talking about transsexuals, dude. I'll send it to you, dude. It's fucking nuts. I mean, it's dark. When I say
Nuts
it's
like the
dark, brother,
quality.
I mean it's dark.
Yeah, but it probably didn't look like or sound like him, right? Or did it sound good?
Nah, bro. It sounded better than him because he can't string two sentences together. Everybody said that was the giveaway. But yeah, it sounds just like him, dude. Sounds better than the well,
It sounds ugly. I don't even want to. Don't even send it to me. I don't want to see ugly
yeah.
shit like that.
It's so dark you don't want to see it.
Yeah, I don't want to be caught sending that around to people.
Too hardcore. Those brothers are too hardcore. That shit ain't cool.
As a fence sitter, I stay out of them dramas. You need to make an animation of me coming across like me sitting like Indian style with a fence post up my ass that you can bounce up and down on the screen sometimes. You know, whenever I'm fence sitting
We could
and
do
not
one
taking a
like
stand.
you can be like the guy on Home Improvement. You can be on the other side of the fence. Just see your eyeballs. My dad argued forever that the guy on the other side of the fence was Tim Allen. Like they were both Tim Allen. I'm like, no, it's not. It's a different actor. He swore up and down it was. Anyway, end of that story. The end.
I had a thing like that. It made me want to cry, but I felt stupid. But like we were doing, I was always about the third best artist in any class. You know, I never took it seriously. Um, and probably in the sixth grade, there was a really good guy, Chris Bernhardt, and another guy in class, and they were like, they wanted to make Garbage Pail Kids, and I was like, all right, let's make them up. And then we started out with coming up with the names, but all mine, I was like, they have to rhyme. No, Garbage Pail Kids rhyme. What are y'all doing? Y'all are doing it wrong, but they don't rhyme, you know. But I convinced myself that they have to rhyme. And when they showed me the cards and I realized I was wrong, I was like, fuck, dude. I wanted to stick with it, but I couldn't. That's probably how your dad felt when he figured out that fucking next door neighbor wasn't Tim Allen. You probably just got real quiet and changed the subject. You know what I mean?
Well, got another panel most of the way done. I'm on to the easy pages now. Let's see. How was I drawing this fella's boots?
I gotta take a leak. I'll be right back. You hold down the fort. Don't end the stream when I'm gone. I'll be upset with you.
Oh, that's about over. I'm about done with this page. Hurry up.
Keep going, baby. I'll be back. 3 minutes.
Man, I don't know about you guys, but I'm glad that heavy breathing son of a bitch is gone. Yeah, Jimmy's inking these. He inked that swim. He didn't ink the pit swimsuit, but he inked the brown one also. CG got a handful of really good inkers. And they both have different strengths. Let's go back to it. Let's look at my pinup again. Where is it at? That's a page stopper right there. How many people do you think got this and didn't flip any further? They just stopped at that one. Probably a lot of people. The coloring on this rock is excellent. I like the way he did. I don't know how well it's showing up. Like watercolor edges. The way watercolors have crispy edges where it pools up and dries. Pretty cool. Like the marbling for the eyes he did there. And of course, Jimmy's inks. Good as always. Jimmy's got it figured out. He reads my shit really well. I got this thing to where I stack lines. I stack my rendering. So it'll be thin, then thicker. It's weird. You get like a weird feel for it too. It just depends on how sharp the pencil is. Anyway. Yeah, it looks really good. Blasting that monster. It says, even when on vacation, Bram and Lilith can't seem to get away from these monsters. Hey, Blondie, save some calamari for me. Where's what's his name? Is it Aaron Calamari? Where's that dude? Gave him a shout out there, Phil. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Nick just shit his pants. He gotta go change his drawers. I'm gonna be buying a lot more Comicsgate stuff this year. I didn't buy much last year. Had to pay off the tax man, but I'm gonna be forking out some dough this year. I mean, pretty much any book you buy is gonna be 35 to 40 bucks. Just the way it works, shipping and all that. But I mean, I think I'll probably be buying at least one, maybe two a month. Maybe even more. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how many projects light a fire under my ass. There's actually some that I missed last year that I'm gonna see if I can't go back and get, like the Kenneth Rocafort stuff, the Grokin or Groku, whatever it is, and obviously spread the love around to some smaller peoples. If Phil and I ever do streams again, maybe back some of those people. then do a follow-up. Maybe I should just do it on my own. Have people on. What do you think? I'd be a good interviewer, wouldn't I? Have people on, I could interview them and draw. The thing is, if I'm interviewing you, you got to be able to take some jokes, and I want to make jokes about whatever it is you're selling. Not mean jokes, boomer jokes. My expertise. God, my stories are longer than 10 seconds. I told that art school one for a good hour. I got a lot of airtime out of that, and you guys took part, and you even got a page out of it. Gordon Goodbrother. This is Gordon's heel. He's having a heel turn right now, attacking me. Hey, how did you guys tune in at the beginning whenever Nick was blasting me and I cursed him out and kicked him off? Man, that was quality entertainment. Well, if you missed the beginning of the show, you missed some super hot fire. Yeah, my stories are great. Such as the one I'm not telling now, because I'm drawing. Let's see here. What else can I talk about? Yeah. Well, I've turned up the volume this year, getting my work done on time. So I think I've resecured after I had a shaky 2022. Family passing away, moving, all that shit. But I'm back. I think I've resecured the probability that I get to draw the next Graveyard Shift book, next volume, maybe the next two volumes. I won John back over with my work ethic. So I got that in store for the year. Going to be a big ass year. And if Nick will act right and stop being ugly to me, we'll have our show going. And I'm thinking that's going to be 2 times a week. Any more than that, I don't know. I can hardly tolerate him as it is. And then
I'm back, baby.
definitely doing morning watercolor streams. Like I said, that's my Zen state.
Don't even do that, dude. Just keep doing Kim Jong Gi, how to draw Kim Jong Gi videos.
I know. I was talking about that a little bit earlier, dude. Like, I could have a mammoth channel if I just drew his shit all the time. I'm sure there's a couple other guys out there I could do that with.
A couple of the big name guys, but Kim Jong Gi's got that instant drawing, and the drawing seems like it's easier. And I'm gonna be honest, like that style's kind of cool. You could probably do a whole book like that. Just show the process of putting a Kim Jong Gi style book together. You know, just work on a panel, a headshot.
You're saying just throw it together and let the content create the book, so to speak.
Well, come up with an outline for a book that has super cool shots, and then you can just every day be like Kim Jong Gi drawing this, and then as you're drawing it, then when you're all done at the end of the year, then you'll have a whole trade paperback that you could put together in that style.
Mm-hmm.
Let it just be loose and whatever. I'm saying what I said. If you clear your fucking ears.
Well, I'm thinking Kim Jong Gi style, but with rulers.
No rulers. Kim Jong Gi.
No, Kim Jong Gi, but with rulers. That's how I add to it.
That's not Kim Jong Gi.
That's how I take him to the next level. I add rulers to it.
No, all of his stuff is rolling perspective. That makes no sense. That's how you slow him down.
Yeah, but I got to be a little different though. I'm gonna add my own spin.
No, just make money off of his name.
What do you guys think? Kim Jong G, but with rulers? Tell me you wouldn't buy that.
Change your change your channel name to Kim Jong Tommy.
Oh wait, hang on. Let me show those.
Oh yeah, yeah. Make that your avatar. I'm gonna go to the stream and see it. Like we already made the avatar for Tommy. Kim Jong Tommy is ready to fire up. Please put that as your avatar when you switch to Kim Jong Tommy.
There you go. That's so stupid. All right, I'm gonna add image. Nick sent this earlier.
Little AI Tommy.
He thinks it looks like. I don't know. I don't know that it looks like
I
it.
literally uploaded a young picture of you and combined it with an Asian man.
Yeah.
It
Wait,
looks just like you.
hang on. Let me turn toward the camera. What do you guys think?
Kim Jong Tommy.
So you're saying do Kim Jong art and use that as my avatar. Never show my face.
Yeah, Kim Jong
Or I
Tommy.
could
That
do
looks.
I could do the mouth moving behind it, right? I could do the little cutout.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, I met Kim Jong Gi a couple times, all over the world, and I'm
You
saying
followed him around like fish.
he'd probably give you your blessing to make money off his name.
As long as I draw them titties.
Oh yeah, that's where AI can't go, man. They don't I played around with those programs to see what we're gonna fight against, and they don't let you. They don't spit out no titties. They won't let you generate anything that's like the future of art is only going to be like the Milo Manara stuff, which is kind of awesome, dude. I kind of dig it. There's going to be artists that are only paid to erase the shirts and add the nips for sure.
Like, yeah, dude, you're the. Imagine how many nipples you'd have to be drawing. Just a day full of drawing nipples and dicks.
Libya, what's it called? Libya.
Syria or Libya, one or the
Labia,
other.
labia.
Libya. my, my wife's Libya. Oh, I like that Joey Diaz quality you have when it comes to saying words and shit. Cracks me up.
That goes from my dad. Also, well, I guess Joey's Cuban, but my dad's a big old Italian guy, probably same age. He always said, "You, what's wrong with you? You got some kind of fetish? You into porno? You got some kind of fetish?" And I watched him. He went to somebody. He went to a doctor, and I went with him to the doctor, and he was like trying to make a joke, and he said, he was like acting like he was bugging out crazy. He's like, like a knip fit, and the woman said, "What?" But he was trying to say conniption, but he was saying knip fit. You kind of get that's the thing about when you speak wrong like that. Just plow through and go on to the next thing. Don't even
Yeah,
stop.
yeah, yeah.
You know.
It's a sign that you've read a lot of books and you sound stuff out. You've read a lot of Libya books. Your dad looks no joke though. Your dad looks just like Captain Lou Albano, minus
Hey,
those rubber bands in his head.
I don't know Lou Albano. He's a wrestler. Who's that?
He was a manager. I think he did wrestling like early on, maybe. But He was mainly a wrestler. He's in the era with the first couple WrestleManias. He came out with Cyndi Lauper, and he had a few MTV spots. Phil said he canceled his Mid-Journey. I don't know if I believe him. I
They just
don't.
came out. They just came out with 4.0. From what I saw all the YouTube shows popping up about 4.0. I don't believe he got a secret account. Phil's trying to replace his artist.
Yep.
That's fine because I'm paying for Chat GPT. Phil's done. Once he opened up the I mean he fired the first shot sending us that,
He
right?
did. He did.
So I
Yeah.
was like, all right.
You couldn't not retaliate.
Yeah. So I fired up Chat GPT. That's all fucking Rogan wanted to talk about when we were hanging out. Y'all were asking me what else we talked about. Exactly like I was nervous about it. I was like, no, drop my hand, dude. I was like, look, we'll be all right.
You talking about Toe Rogan?
He wanted to see because I own a Mobius. I own the design that Mobius did for He-Man, and he was. I got a voicemail. I'll send it to you. You can put it on the show next time. But he called me saying he wanted me to bring it. Like I'm not taking that out of my safe and bringing it to a fucking bar with a bunch of arm wrestlers.
No
But it is
joke. Do
Joe.
you like
It is.
legit? Do you have it in a safe for real? Is that where you put it?
Um, I bought a fireproof safe, right? But I bought it in Houston. It was a floor model, super nice, like $1,500, and we got it for like 1,000. Fireproof, so obviously it's a big gun safe. That's what all the art collectors use. But except my fucking me and my dad, when my dad was healthier, and my brother had to move it up the stairs at my parents. Literally had ropes and chains around it. Uh, it would catch. The front of it would catch because it's got a sharp edge. Imagine laying on its belly and pushing it up, but it would catch on the carpet of every step. So I had to. We put a bunch of duct tape on the edge and like a folder and bent around it, and like try to get it to like a little ramp on the edge to get it over the thing. And then we did that and then filled it with weights because my dad's like, yeah, you put this upstairs, but now the first thing I'd do if I was breaking in and I could shove this thing over was just knock it off the second floor, the second story of my parents' house, right? He would just take it, ram it, and laugh about it. And he said, yeah, that'd be hilarious. If I was breaking in a house and I was all pumped up, first thing I would do is drag it 10 feet and throw it over and bust the railing out with a hammer and throw it over. And then it destroys concrete and its foundation and everything. So then he had me load up in it like 400 pounds of weights at the bottom of it, so no one could move it. So it's sitting in my parents' house, but I got a lot of my art collection I have here at the house now. So I got the Mobius hanging up in the living room, and I need to make a copy of it and put it back in the safe. I just haven't done it yet. Yeah, so that currently it's unmovable at my dad's house. And what he does is he drills into his foundation for his safes, for his shit, which is all, guns. He's a Texas hunter, so that's his valuables. But what he does is he drills through the bottom of the safe and he bolts them to the fucking foundation, so you cannot move his safes, right? His safes are like, but he was like, I don't know what we're gonna do with this, so he had me load a bunch of my weights in there. So
Kind of ingenious, making it where nobody want to lift it.
I mean, they just won't be able to lift it, like it's just fucking straight up bolted down. He's always an insurance guy. Insurance guys are not like he sells insurance, but he's like worst case scenario guy. So
Hmm.
like that's that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen. So you got to plan for everything. He's like one of these plan for everything
He
guys.
needs to be on a insurance commercial.
I'm not. I'm a fly by the seat of my pants guy. And if you listen to guys like Dave Ramsey, if you want to get into finance, he's like insurance. The whole point of insurance is they make money off you. Then they go out of their way not to cover, what they say they'd cover. So obviously the odds are in your favor not to get the insurance. but you're playing the safety. My dad's more of a safety guy.
I hear that there are some cars that they're gonna stop insuring because they're getting broken into so much.
Have you watched White Soft Underbelly, the YouTube channel?
Yeah, we don't talk about this. I don't think.
Listen, as your you can talk about it again, and you can pretend like we haven't or we have, but we're prepping your audience. Like obviously, I've seen everything you've talked about so far that I pretended not to cover my ass, right? So just play along.
Anyway, yeah, I've seen it, and I don't know that it has come about organically. The way it just popped up in the YouTube, kind of like that Lex Friedman dweeb.
It's because they all were on Rogan. That's what's going to happen. You're going to start seeing axe wielder stuff all the time. Once you get on Rogan, it's over, baby. It starts opening up.
Anyway, soft white underbelly.
Yeah, like if you like writing and you need to write like a crack addict or something like that, then it's like you get a one-on-one 1 hour interview with them, or someone into whatever afflictions that you need to write about that's not in your world, that you don't have personal experience with. It's pretty good. It's character research, in my opinion. They got some interesting stuff, I think. He's bringing back this one prostitute, just a little Hispanic petite chick.
Well,
And
I'll check them out. I'll unblock the channel on YouTube.
he keeps bringing this one chick back, and he's paying her and stuff. He got totally, the guy who runs it, he got totally, like, he clearly never had a drug addict in his family, but she's like a prostitute and a drug addict, and she's like, oh, I'm gonna get my life together. So he runs a GoFundMe, get her life together, gets her an apartment, gets her kids back for
You're
her.
saying the guy that developed the soft white underbelly?
Yeah. He's doing all this stuff to help her, and he's probably doing it because she's like
Oh
one
god,
of the
yeah,
one of the cuter ones, you know.
yeah.
And he says he goes by her house, and she's got like her pimp there. Like this, he goes by, and it's supposed to be her kids, and there's like sex toys all over the house. The kids aren't there. And she keeps asking for more and more money. Like she wants $1,000 a day and shit. And he's like, how could she be doing this? But she's getting back on her feet. Maybe she needs it for a car or something. And then he finally pops by to check on her, and it's like her pimp living there, and she's using it to turn tricks. And the pimp has been taking all of her money, and so he's been sending $1,000 a day, 300 a day. Thought he was going to these kids, but it's all going to the pimp and whatever. It's just like, oh god, these people don't want help. You know, a lot of them. Or maybe they're stuck in their situation.
A lot of people don't want help, dude. They can't be helped. I mean, you watch a lot of those interviews that have been popping up with like the homeless people. That one guy had the tattoos on his face, which could be anybody. But
No, at this point, it's anybody. Those tattoos on faces, I don't get it. It's the Allen Iverson thing. Like every system needs an oddball. You know, like the person that leaves the system that's mocked at first, the guy that first gets the tattoos on the face, like, and then makes it popular. That's the Allen Iverson. Like he broke out, he got the ghetto thing, he got the tattoos on his face, and then like let that ruminate for 20 years. Now all the fucking white kids are getting them all over their face. I really think it's that island. It's I think what's happening, society's so
you talking about
comfortable.
the Island Boys?
Them island boys, yeah. What I think is society's so comfortable. It's like that island where there's no predators for the birds, so the birds just start peacocking out to get attention, you know,
Hmm.
doing all kinds of crazy ritual dances, chewing on bottle caps, spitting them in the air, giving them all little relics to the girls, like anything to stand out. And since we're not in as much as survival mode, there's no big war going on with America, like literally getting drafted and people worrying about the material real world. They're sitting around and be like, how can I be different? I guess I'm gonna buzz some more shit on my face or do whatever or act crazy. And it's like it's everyone peacocking out. That's what I see.
Hmm. I'll tell you what, Post Malone, that motherfucker's peacocking out. I saw a
Post,
photo of him recently, and he'd like cut his hair off and got his head all tattooed up top.
yeah, I kind of like Post Malone though. He's kind of a nice guy. I wouldn't have seen him in interviews.
Oh, I'm not judging any character or anything. I'm just saying,
He's, you
might
know,
want to get the markers away from that dude. That's all. Anyway, you were saying?
That was it. I had no more rant about it.
Well, I'm sure the audience is just as shocked as I am that you don't have anything more to say about the topic. Right, guys? Boom, roasted.
Just trying to keep the dead air up. That's all. Trying to keep the dead air to a minimum.
No, I know. That's why I got you on. You're good at that.
Ask me a question, I'll answer it best I can. In a fence sitter type fashion.
Right.
Yeah, I'm supposed to do Villalobos' podcast at some point soon. So that'll be interesting.
That'll be interesting.
That'll be interesting.
Tommy just saying Post Malone's head hurts. What's wrong with how? What am I saying it wrong? Post Malone? Is it Is it supposed to be Post Malone? Am I mispronouncing it? Post Malone's head, his tattooed head. That's his name from now on. Just know that you did this to him. Do you like his music?
He's got a couple radio songs I dig. I was my cousin has a house in Corpus,
Mhm.
and it's on the water, and he's bought these $20,000 jet skis. They go like at least 70 miles an hour. And he had, for whatever reason, you could, it's so nice that you could put your phone in there and hook it to the Bluetooth, and they got big speakers on it. And he had that rock star song playing, and we were flying, like literally going 72 miles an hour on those jet skis. It was crazy. Like, they're going so fast you can't stop, because if you stop, you'll fly off the front of it. You know what I mean? And
sounds like something out of Eastbound and Down.
Yeah, dude, no joke. There was a guy there because everyone's out there peacocking it out too, There was a guy there, swear to God, one guy had a raccoon on his shoulder, had a pet raccoon walking around with it. He's the one that came up to Charlie and was asking about if he had been to Burning Man, him and his wife. They're clearly weird swingers and stuff. And another guy he was walking up to us, and he's about 40 yards away. And this motherfucker started rising out of the water, and he got about 30 feet in the air. He had that jetpack on, dude. He literally had the, I swear to God, he had the jetpack from Eastbound and Down.
Like he owned it? He owned one?
Yeah, he owned it.
What?
All these dudes, because what it is, it's like these little mini islands out. If you're in the Corpus area, you might know it, but it's like you can go out like 4 or 5 miles, and they got these little islands, and I don't know, you would call them something. They're not the jetties, they're called something. But you take your boats out there and you dock, and there's so many of them that the waves get real calm. So what everyone does is they get away from the cops, get away from everything, park their boats out there, and they all bring their big boats, and they kind of just go up into the sand. That's how everyone in the boat gets out and pushes it up, and then they push it back, so the boat doesn't float away. And then what they do is they all just sit and drive up and down their jet skis or whatever, barbecue on the beach, and everyone's kind of walking around like a commune, weird, it's always a weird swinger vibe in the air when you get with those rich people.
Got those dudes with like
boats.
a lot of cologne on, those big nugget rings and necklaces.
Yeah, all the women are Botoxed out, or they're like super ghetto, right? They're either one or the other. They're like just people that know about it and get out there, and they party all day.
Those chicks that look found.
It looked crazy. And so like we'll go out there and we'll hang out, and there's a lot of weird shit, people doing all kinds of stuff. But they all bring, and they'll have like these boats with 4 engines on them, 2 decks, big party boats, some of the pontoon boats that are just got the big 2 big tubes full of air, and everyone's above everybody dancing and partying. And what matters is your speaker system. Anytime you get on the water, float in the river, whatever, speaker system, people will attract to you. And you might think you have a good one, but the next guy shows up, and you might have the best one. The next guy shows up, and his is 10 times louder. Nobody can hear your music anymore. You're dead.
There's a local dude here that he ended up leasing all the farmland because he runs like a hunting trip kind of thing, right? So he goes and leases the farmland, and nobody else can hunt on it except for through him.
Yeah.
And anyway, he made his money. He had like a Walmart type store, like a Big Lot type store in the Florida, Georgia area, and he sold it and moved up here because we've got a nice lake area here. And his deck, he has like this big ass wooden deck out behind his house, and in the deck he has the shape of a cock and balls. So, and the boss where I used to work, I guess he's known it for anyway. He's like he said he's always out on the lake and he's always got on a little tiny thong.
Yeah, you'll see dudes with American flag thongs and just weird guys that shouldn't be doing it. But anyway, this guy's like, this guy had one of these fucking jet propulsion things and shot himself up out of the water. And apparently he had bringing it out for like months because he couldn't, it takes a hard time to master it. He
Hmm.
let someone else try it and fucking flew up and instantly flew down into the water. It's not good, dude. But this guy was good. The
Dude, you
guy
could
that
fly headfirst into a fucking boat. You'd be
you
dead. You'd be dead, bro.
easily, like you could easily kill yourself with that thing.
Phil's got a question for you, Nick. What constitutes character likeness in comics? How close is too close in appearance to infringe on a previously published character likeness?
Um, I think you can do anything you want, is what I think. How close is too close? You know that Marvel and DC stole everything, right? They stole all that when it was timely comics and all that shit. Read the 10 Cent Plague if you want some good history on, like, that just has a little bit to start, but all these dudes were stealing each other's ideas. Like Doom Patrol was ripped off from the
Hell,
X-Men. Very
they stole Shazam back and forth between one another.
stole Shazam back and forth. Like that's all. This was all like cutthroat craziness. And now they're like icons, and they got all these lawyers to protect them. But I say you steal everything you can as far as likenesses go. I mean, if someone does the axe or John cut off the nose, I'm going to clearly attack them online. But legally, I don't know what you can do. But like, I've got a Batman story I want to do. I've obviously got a big Bizarro story. Tommy knows about that I worked on for like 6 months. Just obsessed with it. So excited about, and like that might be called All Star Oboe instead of All Star Bizarro now. Like I was thinking about that today actually.
Getting
How much you got to change it? I mean, just aesthetic. Get a great artist to aesthetically change them. Like me and Hickman had talked about doing this thing with the Batman, but the Batman just had like a silver head. But the everything about the character was essentially Batman. It's not like the same backstory, but he's goes into the dark. He gets energy from the night. I mean, Batman might not literally get energy from the night, but that's when he prowls. Our guy did that. Our guy had like some mechanical shit on him that was clearly not Batman, not a bat symbol. But you can take the heart of the mechanics of the character without stealing the aesthetics if you want to. But you could also steal a good chunk of the aesthetics. A cow's not copyrighted. You put a cow with some pointy ears and call him. I mean, there's freaking Rat Man on Tick. You know, you're allowed to parody too, which is interesting. But do you want the headache when if it ever does hit when these guys come after you? And they will come after you if you start making money because they see it as their money. So I don't know. Walk the line, I guess.
nah, like you said, rip it off.
I mean, it's Phil, so he's going to do it anyway. So I don't know why he's asking me. He's got Mid-Journey replacing at least 6, 7 artists he works with.
No, he canceled his account. He's clean. Phil's clean again.
He's clean now. He's come to the light. I mean, it's fine. I see you. I see your Mid-Journey, and I raise you Chat GPT. So we're good. Let the arms race begin.
You got this J Ro in the chat. I don't even because OBS allows me to start up the stream and everything within it. I didn't even go to YouTube. I don't know how many people are tuned in today. Maybe a lot. Maybe none.
It was like 4 when I got on, and I was one of them. Sounds like you've had a couple more pop in though.
4's good. Yeah, I didn't tweet it out. I should have tweeted it out. But
Dude, I gotta start. If I start tweeting, that's my problem. Is I'm just too scared right now. When we do the real show, the show, we bring back Comic Book Fireball for real. I'll tweet it out, and
okay.
I'll get a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I get a lot of people. We'll probably have like 20 or 30, maybe.
That's good. It's a good audience. Can't complain about that.
But like when we just grab these and just start ranting, sometimes I don't know, you know.
Now, I told you, dude. Like we got to do a structured show.
I get the
With,
nervous shits, you know.
with we got to have topics, or else we get in trouble. We get talking too risky.
I don't want, as someone who has a lot to say, but doesn't want any to say anything. It's hard for me to shut up. You know what I mean? It's like two things are fighting at the same time.
Yeah.
Like I clearly love to hear myself talk, but business wise, I don't want anyone to know what I actually think about them, which is generally not positive.
Well, like I said, it's your character, it's your makeup. You hate everything. Man, I haven't got the oomph to want to watch that documentary about the keeper anymore since I talked to you about it. Like I was already picking up like the woman was a little weird, but you say if you stick through it, it's clear that she's making all that shit up.
Implanted memories, another attack on the good nature of the church. You know what I mean? Just another good attack.
Yeah. Come to Tampa. Maybe. When is that? When is it's July? I thought it was March, but then somebody said it's July. What day is it on? Or
Oh,
weekend?
is that the one Biggins is going to?
Yeah. Biggins, Cecil, Shane, Davis.
Yeah. Biggins is he's on me about going.
That's all in people you can't be seen with though.
I go to conventions with Biggins all the time.
You can't be seen with the scene.
Literally nicknamed in the scene. Yeah, I hung out with him too many times. Like I said, my wife hates his guys. But he's a good guy.
He means well.
He means well enough. I took him to an image party, rooftop party once, and it did not go well. Me and Biggins.
Yeah, I've heard about that one.
It was I don't think him and Jason Aaron got along. Let's put it that way. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Aaron is a try hard though, so whatever. I know you're not gonna say anything.
I like Jason Aaron Driney. I that's the only time I ever met him, but
Yeah.
Troy does. Oh shit! Cancel that. Biggins doesn't have any attachment to the industry, so he's just gonna say and do what he wants. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know. Like I don't go to your business events and corner your professionals and make them feel terrible about themselves. You know what I mean? I just act normal.
You don't go down to the prison and knock the license plate out of. That's that old Seinfeld joke.
Plus, whenever I hang out with him, it's like I'm playing the median. You know, I'm playing the good guy. I'm playing the. Well, he didn't
Good
mean
cop,
that.
bad cop.
Yeah, I'm like, well, he didn't mean that. He's just being silly. But the truth is, he kind of means it.
I thought Malin said he was out. He wasn't going to go. Did he change his mind yet again?
I know Biggins is on the flyer, and I know he's going for sure because I think he got his hotel.
When is it though? Do you
It's
know?
in the July, late July.
Well,
Like
if it's that time of year, I'll put my odds at going at 40%.
Listen, if I lose weight, I'm definitely going, and I got to lose weight by San Diego, so at the same time, so I got to do it. My whole goal, it gives me something to aim for to actually keep on a diet.
If John goes, I'll go. How about that? So. All right. I think I'm about done streaming because I got to draw some shit that I don't want people to see. Plus, I'm running low on energy. I need to go eat something. I'd like to thank everyone for stopping by, especially Gordon Goodbrother, who is always here. Um, I don't see Admiral Wackass, but I'll give him a shout out because he's like almost. Oh, there he is. Yep, there he was. I thought he was here. He shows up every time. Phil shows up every time. Maybe even J Ro. Art and Times. Jay Ryan. That dude's straight out of a novel with that name. Who else we got? I'm sure there's some others in here. Well, thanks for stopping by. And I'm sorry Nick showed his ass at the beginning. I had to put him in his place.
Let's do our cliff notes for the episode. Money is electricity. Heritage auction is sus. Phil uses Mid Journey, and we should attack him at all the time for it. Just kidding, Phil. He just dabbled like the rest of us to see what was going on. But he's a good guy.
Yeah, I got to look into doing a paid for StreamYard or Melon or something so I can wrangle a bunch of people coming in and out.
What else? I gotta get with you. It's we're finally finishing all the stuff off on Axe Wielder, and you are printing my bust for Axe Wielder John, and I need to get with you about that and pay you up, get squared away, as they say. So expect a call from me later today, buddy. That's all I got.
Well, thanks for wrapping the show up. I appreciate that. You're back in my good graces. All right. Later, everyone.